happen from time to time with mistakes. So let's go watch Patrick versus Lyle here. Dun 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 dun. Blue white control versus Abzan. And Lyle's got a pretty sweet blue white list. We're rocking out our new Gideon here. We got to see Patrick's is kind of the old school big Abzan style with Siege Rhino and stuff like that. So should be a fun one to see. Patrick's going to be trying to strip away cards from Lyle's hand, try to land a creature, get a threat out on board. Lyle's going to be focusing on countering that sort of stuff, doing board wipes, stuff like that. And I don't know, it's obvious that it wasn't on board. Yeah, and that's true. But I just, sometimes you need to point it out that it, not intentional, because not only do we broadcast it here on Twitch, but we also put these matches up on YouTube as well. So sometimes people miss the whole chat interaction when they're not able to watch us live, which we encourage you guys, if you're watching from the VODs, if you get a chance on Mondays, maybe you have the time, 6:30 p.m. Eastern is when we broadcast up. But if not, we appreciate you guys checking out the VODs on YouTube. Just a little plug for all of you guys watching across the board. You guys are awesome. Alright, getting things ready. So again, this is week number 9. We do 10-week seasons, and then our top 8 in point totals over that 10 weeks gets to compete in a mini invitational, a little bit of cash prize on the line, fun stuff like that. Alright. Drawing up, getting those 7. Looks like an Inquisition, a Lily, Grim Flare, a couple of lands. This seems like a nice keepable. Lyle says he's fine with it. Patrick gonna go fetch, shock into an Inquisition. Lyle's gonna say, alright, I've got 2 Cryptic, Supreme, Cast Out, Path to Exile. I'm assuming 2 lands over on the right hand side there. Oh, Patrick, sorry, is going to 19, opting for a basic. Path to Exile will be taken here. Cast down a nice addition in there. Can be able to cycle that away later on if need be. Or in these early stages, hey, I could use another land. Can help you get set up that way. Patrick running over, get a piece of paper, write down cards in hand there. And Lyle's going to say, here's my Hollow Fountain, and I'll pass. Nice guy, keeping his hand out, making sure that Patrick has the chance to write it down. And then, yeah, doing the right thing, counting it up, making sure that it is the correct amount. So now he'll go down to 17, play the Grim Flare, and pass. And we'll try to go for 2, he says. And Lil says, alright, I'll go to 18. Trigger. Take a gander at those top 3. See if any need to go in the graveyard. Do we need any of those in the graveyard? Looks like there's 2 lands and a noble here. I mean, you might be able to actually get rid of one of those lands. And, oh, actually, he opts for the noble in there as well, throwing a creature in there. So, sorcery creature land currently in the graveyard. And looks like he will be fetching as well here. down to 16 and attempt to cast Liliana of the Veil. So if this gets countered, it just activates Delirium, which works out great, but not going to get countered. We'll do that uptick there, and you see another land goes in there for Patrick. It's like, must have been a Serum. Oh, no, we're resolving Liliana, sorry. Scooz is going in, Fetch is going to go off, Lyle's going to go to 17. Get another Hallowed Fountain here. Yeah, get your mana fixed up nicely in these early stages and be ready, get those basics out later on. You see Patrick just like, yep, Karate Chop, good to go. And Lyle says, alright, 6 cards in hand, and I'm going to have to pass. So, uptick off of Lily. I missed what Patrick was putting in. Was that 4? Is Delirium available now? Now that he's moved his graveyard, I cannot tell if it's for 4 or not. We know it's at least for 2, so we're going to say he at least goes down by 2. Second Grim Flare, pass. Ghost Quarter will have access to Gideon now, but does have a Detention Sphere and says, yep, bye-bye Grim Flare. Now you don't have a threat on board at least. Here's a Thoughtseize. Patrick going to go down to 14. Ooh. Jace, Gideon, Supreme, Cryptic. So, next land, it's game on for Lyle. But it's a matter of getting to that next land here. And this is nice too because you can Thoughtseize, strip away a card, uptick Liliana, strip away another card. And just really start picking apart Lyle's hand. So he says, yep, I'll take Jace, play a land, uptick by Supreme Verdict, Cryptic Command, Gideon, and I didn't see the other draw. Snapcaster, it looks like. So, I think, yeah, opting for the Gideon here, get him onto the board. Uptick, he can't do damage. Not that that's as troublesome right now. And we're going to get some fetching going. We'll take 3. Drops down to 11. But he's going to gain 3 because you see he does have that Siege Rhino available to him. Back up to 14. Lyle's going to drop down to 12. Let's ult. And he says, Gideon, Detention Sphere, or your lands. What's it going to be? Oh. I like keeping Gideon in the Detention Sphere because he doesn't have a 4th land to be able to cast Cryptic or anything else. This keeps those off, and he can just be like, alright, Gideon's going to target Siege Rhino. You can't deal damage with it. And we'll pull it up here for those. Whoop. Card. +1 until your next turn. Prevent all damage that permanent would deal. Alright, we saw Goyf come down. And he looks like he'll switch the target to Goyf, and he'll take 4 off of the Siege Rhino. And with that, missing another land, Lyle's going to scoop it up and say, you got game 1. Let's go to game 2. And King Kenny 17, thank you for the follow, sir. Glad you're liking the stream tonight. Doing the best I can to try to bring you guys some decent coverage with solo casting. It's been a while since I've had to solo cast. So, normally we've got Farmer Zernar helping me out, making it just as entertaining. Actually, more so, because he's here to provide extra insight and enjoyment for all of our viewers at home. So let's take a look at Lyle's sideboard real quick. He's got 1 Hollow Burial, 2 Rest in Peace, 2 Timely Reinforcements, 2 Grafdigger's Cage, 1 Rune Halo, 2 Stony Silence, 1 Ceremonious Rejection, 2 Spell Quellers, and 2 Dispels. I love Spell Queller. I love it. Like, it's a great card. You can drop it down and basically be able to counter pretty much anything in Patrick's deck. So that is sweet. I love that idea coming in. Runed Halo is you're choosing a card. That card can't be played, I believe. Oops. Card. Protection from the chosen card. Okay. Maybe a Runed Halo. I also like the idea of a Timely Reinforcements, gaining some life, maybe get some guys in there. But definitely like the Spell Quellers coming in. Rest in Peace is not bad at all in this matchup because it shuts off Lingering Souls and it makes Tarmogoyf tiny. So I like that idea. Yes, it prevents you from being able to flash stuff back with Snapcaster, but that's a alright price to pay if you know that he's not going to get flashback Lingering Souls. He's not going to have Goyf as a good backup there. And Grimflare can only be a 2/2. So, I like that idea. Over on Patrick's side, though, he's got 1 Scavenging Ooze, 1 Abrupt Decay, 1 Nihil Spellbomb, or sorry, 2 Nihil Spellbomb, 1 Thrun the Last Troll, 1 Dromoka's Command, 1 Golgari Charm, and Nesblast, thank you for the follow. Glad you're liking the stream tonight. And, alright, where was I? Oh, Golgari Grave Charm, or Golgari Charm, 2 Collective Brutality, 2 Fulminator Mage, 2 Maelstrom Pulse, 1 Damnation, and 1 Blood Baron of Viscopa here. So, we can go a couple different routes on Patrick's side. We can go for that attack the graveyard strategy. You can like bring in Scavenging Ooze, you can bring in Nihil Spellbomb, you know, that sort of thing, and be like, well, I'll pick some stuff apart here and do that aspect, because you could be running Snapcasters and stuff like that. Could opt for more hand disruption, add in the Collective Brutality, since you know there are going to be instances and sorceries that you're going to want to strip away. You could opt for the adjustment to creatures. Thrun Last Troll does have Hexproof, so you can't cast it out, you cannot path it, that sort of thing. He'll have to rely on board wipes and stuff like that. You don't know necessarily that there are a bunch of creatures for like Maelstrom Pulse and stuff like that, but you know, maybe adding 1 in there could not hurt. So yeah, definitely a lot of different options, and really depends on how much of it you want to take out and adjust. Blood Baron does have protection from white, and it does have lifelink, so that is also a nice addition to bring in. I like Blood Baron a lot. It does cost 5 though, so he is a little bit more expensive there, but he's 4/4, lifelink, protection from white and from black, and because it's a blue-white deck, you're going to be set up pretty nicely with protection from white. So, Oop, I did the wrong thing. Lyle did not win that match, guys. Sorry. There we go. And yeah, oh, sorry. We do have that handy-dandy card bot. If I'm talking about a card and you don't remember what it does, simply type exclamation card and the card's name. Maelstrom Pulse, 1 black and a green, so it costs 3 mana for a sorcery, destroy target non-land permanent, and all the permanents with the same name. So, for example, if he is playing something like Timely Reinforcements and gets those 3 soldiers, you can say Maelstrom Pulse, get rid of that soldier, and all other soldiers. Get rid of those Lingering Soul token. Like, you can get rid of a lot of stuff with the same name. Works really well against token-based strategies and things like that, so. And Lyle double-checking the Oracle text on Siege Rhino, making sure, you know, gets the information down correctly. And here we go, getting ready for game number 2, guys. And, like, I think the Rune Halo double-checking to make sure it works against Siege Rhino kind of thing, I think. Because you have protection from the chosen name, you can't be targeted, dealt damage, or enchanted by anything with that name. Could work out. I think that was maybe what he's checking, or checking something else with. I don't know, you know. Alright. Lily, Abrupt Decay, Grimflare, at least 3 lands, and a Thoughtseize. Seems good. Lyle not happy with his, maybe again short on lands. We saw him missing a couple of land drops there, so really, you know, count it up a little bit more, make sure his numbers are correct, get a nice split going into it, shuffle it up nicely. Alright, don't forget, guys, this is week number 9 of our 10-week season. Season number 5 of Modern Magic Mondays. So that means next week will be week 10, and on July 3rd, it'll be our invitational for all of you guys following along at home. For the players that are going to be participating in the invitational, they'll actually be battling it out on the 27th. We will not be starting season number 6 until July 11th for everybody else. So just keep that in mind going forward for all of our viewers and participants in the seasons. Hollow Fountain, tapped. Blooming Marsh, Inquisition U. It's like 3 lands. 1 card you saw him immediately put in his graveyard there must have been the only legal target. I cannot tell what that card is based on the art. I don't know if Lyle's still in chat to let us know what that 1 card left in his hand is, essentially. Land go, he says. Grimflare, pass. And Lyle's going to fetch on the end step, go to 19. And Patrick, nice guy, like very trustworthy of what people are doing, saying, you know what, don't care, go ahead. Gideon, and I will be naming Grimflare, will not be taking any damage from that. Abrupt Decay him, get out of here. Can't be countered. Destroy target permanent with convert mana cost 3 or less. That was a Supreme. Not worth the Supreme now for 1 creature. Here's 2. Trigger. Wow. Looks like 2 lands. And a Collective Brutality. I like having the Collective Brutality go to hand. And those lands probably aren't necessary. Looks like he will at least get 1 of those. Alright, Thoughtseize. Go to 18. And he just kind of shrug. Yep. Alright, what are you going to pick? Ooh. Sphinx's Revelation, he says. You don't need to draw cards or gain any life. Fetch into a Lily. Let's get rid of another card, he says. And that's kind of the way Patrick is playing this out. Really going for that attack your hand, disrupt what you're going to do, and knowing that once he goes for that route, he can land down the 1-2 creatures and be just set up nicely. And we'll just uptick discard for both of us. Alright, so Lyle, I believe, just drew a Cryptic, and he has a Supreme. So he's going to end up probably losing his cards anyway. Like, ooh, Gavany Township, Verdant, and Blood Baron. Verdant can go in the graveyard. Put those back on top. Let's uptick. Cryptic, bounce, draw a card on your end step there. And then pass. So hoping that you can draw into a counterspell to stop that. Here's 2. Also, sure, I'll go to 13. Trigger. Throw that. I think there's another Lily in the pile. So you can opt to have that Lily go to the graveyard and have Delirium. Now, it looks like he's fine with all 3 on top. Collective Brutality, Liliana, Blood Baron, I believe was the order. Gavany Township. And we're going to try for the Lily, he says. And that's going to get hit with another Cryptic Command. Counter draw. So Lyle slowly replenishing his hand. Sitting there with a negate in hand now. And missed. Looks like a land. Fetch land down to 12. Extra island there. Still has to worry about that Grim Flare though. Serum Visions, he says. Draw, scry 2. How do I want to order this? 1 and 1. Land, go. Shannon632, thank you for the follow. Glad you're liking our coverage tonight. You know, I'm doing the best I can with the solo cast. I know it's not as good as when Brett and I are working together to get this done, but glad you're at least appreciating what we've got to offer tonight. Alright, that should be Delirium trigger. Should be 4. So we'll say it drops him to 8. And then, yeah, really debating about those top couple cards. There's a Grim Flare, a Lily, and that Blood Baron. You know, I like that plan. Blood Baron up top and Lily there. Like, at this point, you know, Lyle's really starting to get his hand back up. I like having another threat like that. Ooh, Collective Brutality. Get rid of an instant or sorcery, and Lyle's going to say, well, I'm just going to negate it. Alright, Lyle's going to fetch. Down to 7. And enter the waste, get 5. And use 4 of them to get in the way. He's got 1. Blood Baron's going to be the follow-up. Blood Baron. It's a sweet card. I love it. So right now he's just a 4/4 pro-white, pro-black, but that's going to do it. Like, pro-white, Lyle's not going to have any answers for, but you see he was able to bring in some spell quellers and stuff there, so that'll be a 2-0 victory there for Patrick. Whew! There's been a lot of 2-0 matches, guys. We are flying through it tonight. It's just kind of great to see these matches go as well as they have. I mean, game 1 was really tough for Lyle, not getting the lands he needed, and Lily was able to just kind of uptick up and just be like, alright, well, you can either have your 3 lands, or you can have your Gideon and your Detention Sphere that's on 2 of my Grim Flayers. Pick your pick. And then it's like, alright, cool, you picked the Gideon that, well, here's some extra threats. You're not drawing any lands. Sorry. Game 2 was a little bit more interactive kind of thing, really trying to make it work, but Patrick's style of just strip away cards from the hand is really set him up nicely there. So don't worry, guys, we got one more round for you here tonight because it is 5 rounds. Let's take a look at our point totals going into it. Are you guys ready for another Abzan match? Patrick now sitting 9 points. Will be battling against Max. Also 9 points. A lot of 9-pointers here going into it. And let's take a look for our 5th and final round. Dun 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 dun. The mirror matchup.